Hi, cuties. They're pretty hot. And you know, you can say whatever you want about me. It's not my fault. I didn't make them do that. They did that.
I don't like where this is going.
These are and the other, that they're hot.
No.
I think it's a good thing to put that out there. Artistically, I think it's a good thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hey, what's up? It's me, the love child of H3 and Muda, and I'm back with a review of the movie Cuties. Here's what I think of it. I actually wrote down what I thought of it. It's trash. It's one of the worst things I've seen in my life. And I didn't even watch the movie. That's how trash it is. I literally watched 2 scenes, and guess what? There is a reason I'm sitting in my chair. My computer actually conked out, presumably from watching this movie. It died. It was like, I have no part in this. If by any chance you want to be bulimic, just watch this movie. It'll help. I realized that I'm not the only person on the internet critiquing this movie. I thought since I love film so much, I might as well break it down in the way that I know how. Normally I watch clips and show you these things, but I'm not going to show you anything that you don't want to see. Before we start, do me a favor and subscribe. I'm trying to beat Netflix in subscriptions. It's going really badly so far. Okay, so it's 2020. Everything is going pretty badly for everyone, and the only thing keeping morale up is entertainment. So if you were a film director, what would you do? I'll give you a couple choices. Is it A, make a movie that everyone wants to see, or B, make cuties? Why now? Why in 2020? Who thought this was a good idea? Did Netflix not just drop CUTIES?
Christ almighty.
Did they not just drop him for grooming people?
Snapchat goes away, right? How they...
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
Wow.
They did the Drake meme for this. Chris D'Amelio? Netflix cuties. Honest to God, I am quite disgusted by the content that is in this movie. If you don't know what Cuties is about, let me read you the official synopsis. Amy, an 11-year-old girl, joins a group of dancers named the Cuties at school and rapidly grows aware of her burgeoning femininity, upsetting her mother and her values in the process. That's what the synopsis is. That's just a lot of big words. What the movie is actually about is a baby decides to start twerking. A baby. Not a big baby, a baby. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it down. So the initial outrage for this movie was the poster that Netflix decided to put up. While the French version of this film called, I'm gonna butcher this, Migones. I don't know why I say everything with an Italian accent. Migones. That's my French accent. It means cute and petite. For some reason, Netflix decided the English version should feature a lot more skin doing provocative poses. Keep in mind, these girls are young. This movie features too many shots of close-ups of underage people. Some of the scenes that I had to watch were ridiculous, and this is on YouTube. Amy wants a phone from, I don't know if it's a brother or just a guy, and he's like, no. She tries to take off a little bit of her clothing, and he's like, what is wrong with you? She steals the phone, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, good steal. She should play in the NBA. But she goes into her bathroom, and then she takes off her pants and removes the other part and takes a picture of her. There's one scene in the movie where she gets possessed and she starts twerking. I cannot believe I'm saying this. And I'm not even joking. Like, it's ridiculously disgusting. There's way too many close-ups and there's way too much provocative stuff. I understand that you want to evoke an emotion from the audience, and you're definitely doing it, but this is too much. I'm sorry that I'm rambling. These scenes are stupid, man. And you know what? Netflix isn't doing themselves any favors. Have you seen the trailer to this thing? 1.9 million dislikes to 49,000 likes. And I have one question for you. Who are these 49,000 people? You know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I've been lying to you. There is one way I would support this film. If they had people go into the cinema and they watched the movie and enjoyed the hell out of it. I would support this movie if At the very end of the movie, it said directed by the FBI, and people come straight with their handcuffs and arrest everyone in the audience. Then I would support this movie. In the trailer as well, they portray the mom as like some sort of menacing character.
À quoi tu joues là, ami? Qui es-tu, ami?
Laisse couler l'eau, ma chérie. Les péchés s'effacent avec.
Like, you know, you just don't get me, mom. I like to twerk on people. Which 11-year-old do you know that says that? When I was 11, my favorite thing to do was come home and watch Kim Possible. I like burritos because of Ron. I love Lil Wayne, and like a Mully was my favorite. I used to wear my hat to the side. I used to look like an idiot. I still do, but way more back then. That was it. I promise you, I swear to God, I wasn't a teenager. I was a preteen. And this is the big gripe I have with this movie. It's not 13, it's not 14, it's not 15. It's 11. So I don't know why the mother is portrayed as some sort of villain in this movie. She's like appalled that her daughter wants to drop that dun-dun-dun. Sorry about that. How warped in the head do you have to be to not agree with the mother? They're like painting her as some sort of like evil character. Who wouldn't agree with this parent? If I had an 11-year-old daughter and she was dropping it low, I'd tell her to pick it back up because this is not okay. Parents. 700 girls auditioned for this film. And I don't know what they were telling them to do in the auditions, but if it was anything sensual, there are 700 girls on tape doing this, somewhere floating around, and that is not okay. The director says she created a climate of trust between Chorin and myself, which means absolutely nothing. Have you watched a porno where someone was like, wow, that's a climate of dicks? It's a weird way to group things. Anyway, the director is a feminist, and she says, I was also lucky that these girls' parents were also activists, so we're all on the same side. Faith in humanity, -1. I don't blame the kids for being in this movie. I blame their parents. Whoever let the main actress act like that now has to realize that there are going to be people on the internet who are watching this. There are people in their homes watching this on Netflix who are not watching it for the right reasons. In your heart of hearts, you can't tell me that you don't think some people are watching this for the wrong ideal. Not everyone is watching this as a piece of art. And as a parent, it is mind-boggling that you would let your kid do this. It's irresponsible. There are sick people in the world, and now you're putting it into Netflix, which is so accessible to everyone. I'm sorry. I just... So Netflix actually filmed a segment with the director on why she made the film. So...
My name is Maimouna Doucouré, and I'm the director of CUTIES.
I'm sorry, what was it? Maimouna Doucouré?
Maimouna Doucouré.
Matilda Dolo. Damn, I'm so bad. I can't pronounce names. I'm sorry. They have that synth, that warm synth playing, like that inspiring music. You could say anything during that time and it would still sound sort of inspiring. Yo, what up? My name's 16Leo, man. I just ran over a fat guy. Man, and it wasn't even close. Hey, man, my name's still 16Leo and I shanked a guy in prison. Why do you think they call it Shawshank Redemption? Because I'm back for life, baby. I'll never get out of this place.
CUTIES is the story of an 11-year-old little girl who is trying to find herself.
Self? More like my cell phone. That's the only thing I lost at 11. I was not trying to find out who I was as a human being. I was not questioning my life. I was questioning why the hell lunch is so short. I didn't know anything at 11. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know who I was. And guess what? I didn't care. Because I was 11. Before you start to grow and realize, oh man, this world is full of shit. People give you that grace period of like 13 years to just chill. And this woman is trying to take it from us.
We were dancing like what we are used to seeing in a video clip. And I was surprised because of the age. They were only 11 years old. So I decided to spend the next year and a half doing research.
Someone checked this woman's search history. She says she's doing research on provocative underage dancing.
I met with hundreds of preteens.
Oh no, she met with hundreds of preteens. Someone checked this girl's household.
Who told me their story. I needed to know how they felt about their own femininity in today's society.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but when you're 11, it's not about becoming a woman. You're not even a girl, you're a child. I'm just really sick and tired of people trying to pass feminine rights and masculine rights onto kids who are way too young to understand or care. Let's get on to the reviews. Rotten Tomatoes is a site that is very credible. Discredible? That didn't make sense. And I was shocked to see what the hell was going on when I looked at the scores. 90% among critics. Audience, however, 11%. You see, we the audience hate the shit, but the critics somehow are seeing something that I am not. With Cuties announces herself as a director with a keen visual style who's unafraid to explore these cultural and social tensions. This is in defense of Cuties, of course it is. It's a cultural eye-opener. Do not bully Netflix. You are not forced to watch it. You're absolutely right, I'm not forced to watch it. But if that is the argument, this whole movie revolves around the fact that young girls look at social media and look at all this over-sexualized content that they're not supposed to see. If your defense is that we don't have to watch it, then these girls don't have to watch that. If it's that simple. I went a little bit deeper though, because one critic in particular represents Roger Ebert, who was a famous critic. I read the review by Monica Castillo, a long review, and she gave it 4 out of 4 stars, praising the film's grittiness and excellence, how it delves into such a deep taboo subject. She has aqua blue hair. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but I distinctly remember not too long ago Dave Chappelle released a special called Sticks and Stones, and it was panned by critics. However, the audience absolutely loved it. These same critics who praise Cuties are the ones that said Dave Chappelle is not funny and he just says stuff that is way overboard. How can you be so hypocritical? That's the word. So the last thing I wanted to get through is the theme and message of this movie. The message of the movie is actually somewhat decent. The execution is... That was my French laugh. The execution of this movie is so poor that it probably owes me money.
Today, I can use my voice, my art, to share my vision of femininity, my fight for women's freedom in society and in our minds as well.
I agree with that. Cool, let's fight for women's rights. Sure. Is this how you want to fight? It's like being a pacifist and also being Mike Tyson. You're gonna throw a couple punches. You can't be like, I don't want to fight you. Then it's a weird way to go about doing things, isn't it? To say you're fighting for women's rights and then you objectify the woman. Like what? I watched Chernobyl the other day and this is somehow a bigger disaster. And that really happened.
Our girls see that the more a woman is overly sexualized on social media, the more she is successful. The real question of Cuties is, can we as women truly choose who we want to be beyond the role models that are imposed upon us by society?
Oh, you bozo. Yes, you can. You talk about women in society in a box. What about Jessica Alba? Very good-looking woman. She was in Honey. That was a good movie. Loved it. Eventually, she retired from acting for a while. She founded her own company of non-toxic household goods called Honest. I think that's what it's called. It says that it's valued at $1.7 billion. As of 2015, this is a woman who broke out of a box of just being the good-looking, stereotypical girl to create a product that is necessary in this world. And she didn't do it sexualizing herself. She didn't have to resort to anything she didn't want to. You can't sit here and tell me with a straight face that they are not great role models. If you think that only supermodels or Instagram models are the people who influence your life, maybe it's you who needs to look outside of yourself.
I hope that people can become 11 years old during an hour and a half of Cuties in our world.
Also, who is this film aimed at? 11-year-old kids are not gonna watch this film. They're gonna watch Camp Rock or High School Musical or Jump Rope or any other Disney special. I know a lot of them because I'm a Disney fan. So they're not gonna watch this because this is highly provocative and definitely not gonna catch any 11-year-old's attention. And I'm damn sure not watching this. There is no amount of money that could get me to watch this film. $50 million. Okay, maybe I'll think about it. Nobody over the age of 11 should be watching this. It is disgusting. You know who's watching this? Art house people. People who have art houses.
Our girls see that the more a woman is overly sexualized on social media, the more she is successful. and the children just imitate what they see, trying to achieve the same result without understanding the meaning.
Some people have even defended this film by saying WAP is exactly the type of content that what they're talking about in this film. Let Cardi do what she wants. She's a boss bitch. And 2, she's an entertainer. Her job is not to play Blue's Clues with your kids. If you want to parent your kids, you have to do it yourself. You decide what your kids watch and what they don't. Just because it's out there, it doesn't mean you have to watch it. Someone said that. But I will concede that the director's message is valid. Society definitely is more liberal, more open these days, and there is gonna be more provocative stuff. And the thematic message of being susceptible and malleable to this crazy content that's out in the world and wanting to be like your idols, I understand how people could see that, like it, and want to imitate it. So here's my fix. Why not? And this is an easy fix. Get people who are 18 or older to act as the kids. Why not? This would solve every problem you ever had. 11 years old, that could be my baby cousin. And if I see my baby cousin backing it up, I'm gonna pack her in a suitcase and send her to Scared Straight. This movie should not exist. In 2020, a lot of bad things are happening, and this movie is one of them. The one other example that I have, and it's a show that I love, is Black Mirror. And one of my favorite episodes, and I'm gonna spoil it, I'm sorry. It's called Shut Up and Dance, which is what I tell Fluffs every time the camera's off. It's about a young boy who watches some explicit content on his laptop one night, and he gets a message saying they recorded everything and they're gonna show it to the world if he doesn't do what they tell him to. And he goes on this long mission, and he actually joins with other people who have watched the same content. And then while you're watching this, you're like, what? If you watched an adult film, there's nothing wrong with that. And by the end of the episode, you hear on the boy's cell phone his mom saying they're just kids. So he was watching illegal content. That is a prime example of the dangers of social media. And it's a great episode without explicitly showing the content. I wish that this woman who is fighting for female rights wouldn't objectify females. I'm done. I've said all I needed to. Thank you so much for watching the video. I know this was a very tough topic to get through, and I want to give you a little for that one. Take that to the bank. If you're off age, if you're underage, if you're underage, then high five. Woo. Okay, bitch. There is one thing that we, the audience, and the director of this film do agree on.
We must all together to figure out what is the best for our children. As a director, as an artist, I'm doing my part with this film. I think all together we have to fix what's gone wrong.
We must all together figure out what is best for our children. Well, MD, we did that. Cuties is a trash movie. Never make another movie like that, please.